It's a beautiful morning here in Honolulu. It's a warm day, we have sunshine, there are some clouds, but it's mostly sunny. And as you can tell here, I'm pretty much down in the harbor area of town here, right next to Pier number 6, I believe. And you see the Aloha Tower sticking up there in the background. And my plan is to just go up a couple of streets and see how it looks like in town, to give you kind of a feeling for downtown Honolulu here. So let's do it. What a massive thing. And they have some wording here on the side, and I can barely see what they say here, but a thing like this is definitely heavy. And I'm guessing it has some value here. I mean, you melt this down into nuggets and you will be rich probably. Anyway, I will just move on here. This building here is kind of interesting, I think. Not only the choice of color here, they have some kind of viewing deck up there. That looks really cool. So somebody can, sit down there and maybe view the sunset. It's actually right next to this rusty boat here. The Falls of Clyde. It's an interesting boat though. But if you look down there, there is a lot of rust here, and if you don't take care of that, this boat is going to sink. I mean, it will never move again. But I'm sure it has some kind of, historic value here. And just outside this door here, they have like a baby propeller, much smaller than the one we saw a minute ago. And actually, inside these two buildings you see here, that's probably some kind of power plant thing or transformer station. There's a better view of this boat here. Inside here you have restaurants, you have some shops, and the usual touristy stuff. My plan is to cross this busy street here and actually walk up slowly in here. And this is actually Bishop Street. If you would continue here on the 92 here, you would just follow the ocean and you will eventually end up in Waikiki, as you can see. The first building you see here is actually built by Walter Dillingham, and he was the son of Benjamin Dillingham, the guy who ran all the railroads here in Hawaii. And the building here was constructed in 1929, I believe. And you see the name up there, it says the Dillingham Transportation Building. And it is marked as an historic place. It's quite big actually. I just follow this street here. And this building here is actually the Alexander Baldwin building, also built, I believe, in 1929, and it's located kind of right next to the Dillingham Transportation Building. Let's just take a look at this. It's a nice building. And this company here is one of the biggest landowners here in Hawaii. I should take that back. It's private landowner, I think. And but anyway, they have a tremendous amount of land here on these islands here. But they quit the sugar cane though. I will go over to the other side here and try to show you this building from the opposite side here. Here is another view of this beautiful building here. And there is hope. If you need a coffee after watching these buildings here, there is a Starbucks right there in the corner, so you're okay. And maybe I'll go and grab one later on here. And here in downtown, I do one little half loop here. You see, they have tall buildings all over the place, which is typical for an American city, right? Lots of concrete. And a little water fountain right there. And I'm reading on this building here, it says the Hawaiian Electric Company. And yeah, in this area you can find a lot of these semi-historic buildings here. It's a nice area, very nice. And the harbor area is down in this direction here, as you can see. This is actually the Hawaiian Royal Palace, the Iolani Palace here. They built this, I think, in the second half of the 1800s. And after the coup, you know, it was a military coup here basically. They took over Hawaii in 1893. Then this became the kind of the government for the territory at that time. But now in the 1970s, I forgot the year, but they actually restored this into a museum. So right now this is just a nice museum here. And this is kind of the front of it, I guess. And yeah, isn't that a cool building? Keep in mind, this is the only, as far as I know, royal palace on U.S. soil at this point. But it's not an active palace, it's a museum right now, but still, it's a very beautiful building. Even the side here is really cool looking, with all these carved pillars. And the sun is shining on it, so it looks even better. And I'm looking back, I came in the corner over there. So I'm actually walking on royal grass right now. This building here says archives. And you know, if you're the king, you probably have a lot of paperwork lying around. and they keep track of all that stuff in here. And by the way, Hawaii was only a territory since 1893, right? And it became a state in 1959, I believe. I think it was in August 1959. And there is a little sign here, so let's check it out. Well, I don't know what you're talking about here. At least I see Captain James Cook here, because he came to Hawaii a long time ago here. These banyan trees, by the way, are very, very cool. Look at the trunks going all the way up here. And these trees are located just a few feet from the what could be the main entrance into this palace, as you can see here. And yeah, you hear a lot of birds chirping up in the trees here, because you have a few of these trees here. And the whole lot here is surrounded by this high fence, and they probably need that. So yeah, you can go in the corners and down here, I think, but some of these gates are actually closed. Suddenly I found this interesting building here. It looks like a baby castle here. It's very small, but there is a flag up there, so maybe it is an important building. Take a look at this. Wow. And here is the answer to what it really is. They say the Iolani Barracks, built in 1870. And they used this building for the Royal Household Guards. And after the coup in 1893, they had other type of guards in this building. So there you have it. Beautiful, at least. And all the big gates here, they have this shield here, right? It's really, really cool. I'm not sure if that is the king or if these are some kind of guardians or whatever, but it's kind of cool. By the way, I just found out that they actually call this building here the Coronation Pavilion. It's almost like Mexican style, right? You find that in every little town in Mexico, and now you have one here in dead center Honolulu. And the last royalty who lived in this palace here was Queen Liliuokalani. And then I think she was put into some kind of house arrest after the coup here. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, we have some history in this building here. I wonder how many rooms they have in this palace here. I mean, it's a big building, but if you're a king, you need, or queen, you need big rooms. So maybe you only have a few, right? I don't know. I've never been inside, so I don't know. It looks like they have tours. You can sign up and, you know, get the inside scoop of this building here. The palace is surrounded by this green fence, and as you can see, they have these golden tips on them to keep the intruders out. And they probably need that because it's in the middle of downtown, and you know what that means, right? And the building you see to the right here is the Hawaii State Capitol building. It looks like a very open building here on the other side here. And right here, in between the palace and the state Capitol building here, we have a statue of Iolani. It's kind of sad, right? She lived in here, and then there was a coup. She got in, put in house arrest. So this is the least they can do, and put up a statue of her, right? That just makes sense. That's what you get. They kick you out, and then they celebrate you. It's kind of silly, but I guess that's a reality. And this one says State of Hawaii 1959. Wow. It's a nice open building here. I'm not sure why they put up these fences here. Maybe they are doing some construction, things like that. Yeah, let's take a look at one of these. To see what kind of design they have. Yeah, it's an open building, as you can see. It's a hole up in the roof. And I've seen a very similar building one time, exactly like this, and that was actually down in Hermosillo in Sonora, Mexico. That was also a government building exactly like this. So I don't know where they get all the influence here. Here we have the Hawaiian version of Santa Claus, just relaxing here, right in front of the city hall. That's kind of cool, right? And they have some other creatures. I see a turtle, a penguin, and the humu humu fish here, things like that. Actually, we should go and take a closer look, actually. By the way, if you do snorkeling here, you might be able to see this fish here. It's really cool. But you can't really expect to see a penguin, okay? Merry Christmas, Santa. And right in between the city hall and the palace you see in the background is actually another building, and that is actually the State Public Library. It's a beautiful building, and if I can believe what they say down in the corner down there, it says it was built in 1911. So they have some amazing architecture here in town. If you just, spend some time walking around, you will find a lot of interesting things. And I will do a last stop before I'm done, and that will be on the other side of the street here. On my way to my last stop here, I just came across this territorial office building. So they actually built this and used this for some kind of administration after 1893. finish today with a view of this beautiful statue of Kamehameha I. Well, I'm done. I have been walking around here for a while here in downtown Honolulu, and it was really interesting, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.